welcome to class. Today's little mini meditative sequence is actually for digestion, okay? So we are going to focus on, you guessed it, twisting to either recover from an event where we ate too much, or perhaps to just kind of keep the digestion flowing. So these twists are really great to do anytime. We're gonna do a bit of seated, and then we're gonna go down on the ground and do a nice juicy supine twist or on your back twist. And then we're going to end with a teeny tiny little inversion. All right, my friends. So find your way to your seat. I have blocks handy. I like blocks with twists. Sometimes it really helps to have something to let your legs land on there. So whatever works for you. Let's find your way to your seat. Hands on your knees, shoulders stacked right over your hips, and just let yourself be here. Tuning into your belly space. You can even bring your hands to your belly, stacking them on your belly and noticing what's going on there. How are you feeling right now? If you had to put a number on how hungry you are, where would you land? Are you somewhere in the middle, not thinking about food, not hungry, somewhere around a 5? Maybe you're still a little stuffed. Maybe you're feeling a little full, more like a 7. Or perhaps you're really working on empty right now. You just wanted to squeeze this in before you headed to whatever meal comes next. So you're more like a 2 or a 3, really hungry. Just noticing. So bringing your hands down by your side, we're going to take a big breath and think about making room here. So as you inhale, think about creating space as you draw the energy up, lift up through your torso, and like you're just kind of making a little bit of room to shake things out. And then hold on to that structure and exhale. So stay up nice and tall. Keep that nice big space as you exhale, lower the arms down. Inhale, create that space. And then exhale, lower down. Now in this next one, when we inhale, we're going to twist over our shoulder. Bring the opposite hand to the knee. So it doesn't matter which way you go. Bring the hand to the knee. I always turn towards the left, so you're twisting from right to left. There's some thinking that that might be really better for your digestion. But honestly, as long as you're moving. Now take that back hand, inhale it up, create that space, and then exhale, cross your hands over your chest and bring your hands to each knee. Maybe even rounding a little bit and enjoying that stretch up the back. Then go ahead and release. Ooh-wee, let's go the other way. Inhale, reach up, make that space, create length in your spine, and then twist, keep that length, and look over the back shoulder. Maybe using that back hand to give you a little bit more height. Opposite hand to the knee, look over. So we're not trying to twist and pull and use our arms. Let your body, your muscles do the twisting for you. Take that back hand all the way up, across, grab onto the opposite side. And then go ahead and shake it off. Whee. All right, so we're gonna do a gentle twist to begin with. So take your right leg and fold it behind you, but look at the knee. So knee and ankle are in line. You have maybe a 90-ish degree angle here. And then the shin of the front leg comes across the top of the mat. So we call this pretzel or deer sit, depending on your modality. And then we're just going to turn and look over that thigh. And maybe this is as far as you go. Keeping the left leg glued to the mat, keep that right shin glued to the mat. If you have a little bit more space, you might keep that twist and bring the right elbow to the mat and then the left. Now your back hip is obviously going to come up off the mat, but see if you can keep length from the crown of your head through that hip. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Using your hands to help you, come back up through center. Keep this front leg where it is and just stack that back leg or that right leg over the top. So you have this kind of crisscross thing going on here. That foot is on the mat. You can straighten out this bottom leg if you need to get that hip to the mat. Just wrap your elbow around the front of the knee, and just like we did before, look over the back shoulder. So think about creating that length as you inhale, and as you exhale, twist and look. If you have the space, you might actually take that elbow to the outside of that knee and get a little bit deeper. But that's a lot of twist. If you don't need that much twist, don't worry about it. Maybe even wrapping that back arm and grabbing onto the thigh. Again, a lot of twist. If you don't need it, don't worry about it, as long as you're taking what you need here. We're going to unravel, but we're going to do all that on the second side. So walking that right leg out and just spin that left leg behind you. Probably feels really good. Let that right leg come to the mat. Check your angles here. So like a Z, Zorro. Turn and look over that back shoulder. So you're lining your shoulders up with the back of your mat, and then maybe start to climb down. And we're here for a little bit, so about 10 rounds of breath or so. If you have more time, you can pause this and you can stay in these shapes for anywhere, 5-10 minutes each, if that feels good. Slowly walking yourself back up. Now we're going to take that back leg over the top, root down through that left hip, reach your elbow around your knee, look behind you, take a little inhale, look. And both sides are different. If this is as far as you've got for this one, that's perfect. If you don't even have this on this side, it's okay too. Maybe hooking the elbow if that feels good and it feels more productive of a twist. So not doing it just to look a certain way, but to really feel what you need from it. and then come on back around. We're going to head down to the mat. So since we're all twisty here, it makes sense to just keep turning to the right so you can unravel your legs. I'm going to bring my blocks one to either side so that they're in place when I go to do that twist. So lining them up with your hip as you head on back to the mat, come on down. We're gonna stack our knees on top of each other. So if twists are a challenge for you, this is all you need. You can even keep your toes on the mat and just twist. This would be like level 2 here, squeezing knees and feet together, and then letting the knees fall over towards the left. Feet can come to the mat. Once you have those knees on the blocks, you don't need to go any further. If you're not feeling a twist here, you can take this block out, or you can start with crossed legs and take this a little bit deeper. Hands out into a T. I'm going to keep the uncrossed version today. Nice gentle twist. And then using either your core strength or just placing your feet on the mat, come back through center, realign, decide which version works for you, toes on the mat, knees stacked in tabletop, or twisting. So it's the leg is twisted over the top on the opposite way that you're turning. So whichever way works for you. And then just let the knees fall over towards that side. And again, we go from right to left first and then left to right. There's some debate whether or not that's the more productive way to do it. I'm of the opinion that you try things and see what works for you. Because I think if you're left-handed, it might make a difference. Then we're going to come back up through center. Nice. Bring your toes to the ground and just let yourself rock a little from one side to the next. Bringing your block with you. We're going to find our way into a little bitty bridge here. So just lift your hips up, slide that block underneath, and then go ahead and come on down on top of it. So this is an inversion, all right? It's a restorative inversion. You don't need to go any further than this. Of course, if you want a little bit more from this, you can float your feet. So we call this waterfall when we don't have a wall to hold us. Otherwise, we call it legs up the wall. And you can just let your legs float here. If you have a wall and want to move closer, you can do that. And then eventually bringing the right foot down and then the left foot down, lifting the hips up off the block, moving it out of the way, and settling down, taking any kind of movements here that feel good for you. And either moving into a shavasana to take a few moments of rest, or coming on up and heading into just a gentle seated position. I don't know what it is with me and talking today. Just a gentle seated position. So relax your shoulders. Maybe bring your hands back to your belly again. to check in. Giving yourself the space to check in, see how you feel, see how this brief practice shows up in your body. What are you feeling right now? More hungry, less hungry, no hungry? Did you make a little space in your belly? That happens too. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring your hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me on the mat today. Have a fabulous rest of your week, whatever it happens to bring. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.